Jono, we find ourselves in the Edrich stand rather randomly today on our magical mystery tour around Lords. The view from up here is equally as impressive as it is the other side. Mate, just witnessed training. Let's start with Shaheen. Obviously settled in brilliantly. What a lad.
Absolutely, he's been first class. We met each other for the first time yesterday. He came to training at MT's, fitted in incredibly well straight away. Seems like a really level-headed guy, but very excited about being here and can't wait to get started. And we're very excited to see how he goes for us.
It's incredible, really, isn't it? You think about everything he's achieved in the last year or two. I think he was saying to me he's only missed 6 international fixtures in 4 years. You forget he's 22. He must be like a kid in a sweet shop playing here.
Yeah, I mean, that's exactly how he's been, certainly yesterday and today. He can't wait to get started. He's made himself popular with the lads already. He's full of a bit of banter and stuff, and the guys have been with him, and it's been a bit of banter about who's facing him first in the nets and stuff. And I managed to give Max Holden that great first net against him, and he was very thankful of that for me. So no, it went very well.
How did Maxie go against him?
He was alright. He was only half run up, just easing into the net. So he's won over him, early on. But I'm sure Shaheen will come back for him at some point.
I suspect you might be right. So Shaheen's going to be unleashed down in Glamorgan, where you guys head off to tomorrow.
Game 5.
Game 5 it is, and the nuances of game 1 to 4 didn't pass me by, just out of interest. Just make that point. So game 5, Glamorgan away, set off tomorrow. You've named a squad of 13. The most obvious omission from that squad is Stephen Eskenazi, who I saw at training today, not having a bat and with a cast on his thumb, or a support on his thumb. What's the details on that one?
He's got a little crack in his thumb, and he did that taking a brilliant slip catch in the last game. I thought it was just a bit of bruising to start with and a bit of soreness in there, but had an X-ray and he's got a crack in there, so he's out for a few weeks. Not sure how long yet, but he'll be doing everything in his power to come back as quick as possible. But as we did in the first game, gives an opportunity to someone else. And that's what we want to make sure that as a squad we're aware of opportunities and take them every time that we get one of those opportunities, and make it difficult for other people to get back in.
Yeah, for sure. You've got plenty of depth in that squad. Obviously Peter comes in to lead the side. Mertz obviously misses out with his hammy niggle, grade 1 tear. Pete obviously comes in to lead the side. How good to have him back in amongst the boys. I know they were excited to see him last week. Yeah,
again, I didn't really know Pete before last week, and again I can only speak really highly and very well of him. He's come in, really nice guy. The lads really get on with him. He's worked incredibly hard over the last week in the net and is feeling very optimistic about the season ahead. I know he did an interview with you a few days ago, and he's really keen to impress this summer and show us what a good player he is. So and that's what I've seen in the net so far.
I suppose it's a measure of Pete that he's probably as disappointed as anybody with his form last year, and he feels he's got something to prove not only to everybody else but to himself. He's a test quality batsman, and he wants to actually put runs on the board and win games for Middlesex this year, which is music to everyone's ears.
Absolutely, and I think English conditions, especially early season, can be tough, and I think last year he got over here and straight into a game, and if that doesn't go well to start with, the pressure mounts and it gets difficult. But he's had a good think about it over the winter, and I think he's already said to you, he's worked with Bucky Rogers, who obviously was first class for us here.
He scored a few here.
He got a couple here and there, nudged and nurdled a couple.
Yeah, absolutely.
And knowing that he's been able to work with him and tap into that experience of English conditions been brilliant, and you can see the difference I think already. And he's as I said, he's very keen to impress.
Excellent. Also got Robbo back for this one. I caught up with Waxy as well last week, and Waxy obviously gave us a bit of a monthly update on how the injuries were. He didn't mention Esky at the time because we didn't know about Esky at the time. But obviously Robbo back for this one, Martin Anderson back for this one, which is great news. And Tillan also named in the squad, so that gives you a kind of frontline spin option. How pleasing for you, obviously, as Tillan's head coach, that he's got all of his citizenship issues sorted out. He's waiting for his passport now. but all the paperwork's out the way, he can really concentrate now on his game, can't he?
Absolutely. And firstly, as you know, you're third to know all this information, so with the Esky one. But anyway, yeah, it's great that Tills is good and ready to go. He gives us another option. There's a lot of competition around our spin bowling department at the moment, with the three guys, all competing really hard to get in. And I think it's, again, that's what we've asked for at the start of the year. Put your hand up. Hopefully Tills will put his hand up if he plays down in Cardiff, and create competition, and that can only be a good thing. Having Robbo come back into the frame, is another bonus for us. Martin from injury before, another bonus for us. So we're losing one or two here and there, but we're also gaining as we go as well. And it's sad that you had to leave Davo out the squad this week after. Didn't cash in particularly in the first game, but how he shaped up and what he showed us, how good a player he's going to be for us, and he's putting his hand up and he's competing, and hopefully he'll go and get some in the second team as well, and try and get back in.
Touched on the second team there, Johnny. Talk about the depth of the squad. It's not only a first 11 squad, of course, it's a professional squad, and that encompasses first and second. Seconds had their first outing in the championship last week against Essex and turned them over inside 2 days. That must be pretty satisfying that you've got those youngsters knocking on the door. Well, they're not all youngsters, of course, but
I think it's something, if we look back over the last 6, 7, 8 years, I think starting to produce from our academy some really talented, good cricketers. It's up to them now to not only put performances into the second team, but when they get in the first team, take opportunities. And what you'll find is people who are out of the team desperately want to get in it, and hopefully it gets more difficult to get in because the people in it are performing, and it's creating that environment where you're in, you've got to work hard to stay in, and if you're out, you work hard to get in. And it sounds simple, but it's actually it's something we're working on hard to create that environment.
Nice position to be in. Just finishing up, Johnny, reflecting on the Derbyshire game, it was a really strong performance in the opener. There's a few people out there saying it was Derbyshire, but I think that's disrespectful. They've shown what they're capable of in the follow-up game. Plenty of positive performances from our lads in that, with both bat and ball.
Yeah, look, we said before the game we're focusing on us as a team and the things we've worked on in pre-season. I've talked a lot about it's our performance that's the most important thing. Yes, results people will look at, of course. You want to win as many games as you can, but if you get your performances right, you will win more games. And if we play like we did in that first game consistently through the season with bat and ball, we will win games of cricket. And that's the most pleasing thing, is transferring pre-season, the stuff we did in the marquee, stuff we did in the pre-season games, and actually seeing it out in the middle is the most satisfying part. But it's one game and there's a long season, and we've got to be able to do it week in, week out, game in, game out. So I've got no doubt that if we continue to do that every game, the results will come our way.
Music to my ears, mate, and I'm sure everybody else's. John, look, thanks again for joining us. Who knows where we'll be next time?
Who knows?
Let's try and find a
in
nice
the car
hospitality box.
In the car driving around London.
Yeah, you've muted this idea, a bit of carpool karaoke. I'm not sure with my voice that's the way to go.
Be interesting.
But mate, all the best of luck down in Glamorgan. Hope it goes well, and look forward to catching up with you afterwards.
See you next week.